What's up, guys? This is Carter Thomas with Coin Mastery TV. Let's see, we got Monday, July 17th edition. And so welcome, thank you for coming. In this video podcast, wherever you're coming from, we talk all about what's going on in the cryptocurrency markets, specifically what people are doing, why the markets are doing what they're doing, and helping you make the best decisions you possibly can make to create big profits and lots of amazing financial freedom in your life. Very exciting. Now today's a good green day. And I don't like to make that sound like it's there's emotion behind it, because the true traders, they don't care if it's green or red. There's always opportunity in everything. So I also think you got to have a little fun, right? Like, it's green, you're going to love green. If you remember yesterday's video, if you saw yesterday's video, if you didn't go back and watch it, a lot of interesting stuff in there. But we talked a lot about how you don't sell yesterday, and hopefully some of you guys bought some stuff. At the same time, I think it's important not to get too euphoric about this by thinking like, oh man, we're back. We're going to go back up to 7 million, whatever. This is just a data point on the greater, on your investor path. And so what I want to do today is walk through what's going on, what I'm seeing, some interesting opportunities, some stuff I bought, and then talk about a little bit of news and a few things that hopefully can help you out. How's that sound? As always, trust your Red Bull. Man, I really got to get them to sponsor this video podcast. That'd be awesome. Red Bull, if you're watching. Okay. So as always, we start off here at Crypto Watch. And I mean, the green is always a little, what do you call it? Misleading, because it doesn't give you a full 24-hour cycle. However, it does paint a pretty good picture of what's going on right now. And what that is going on is that Bitcoin and Ethereum both came back in a big way. And they didn't come back because the United States government decided that they were going to put this on the Federal Reserve, or that the European Union, like no news. It's purely based on people not being as scared as they were yesterday. Remember we talked about this yesterday? It was all fear. And this is what happens. This is a good example of what happens when people start to say, you know what? I think this is the bottom. I can go back in and buy, and they buy in. At the same time, that's what people were thinking. A lot of technical traders were signaling that 140, 150 was a really good low point for Ethereum. But I think it all works together. So as always, we always look through this. We always go through this, and we look for any outliers and anything that breaks the trends. Now, yesterday we saw everything going down, and so the volume curves are a little weird when it goes down, because it's just harder to sell stuff. So on these low market cap coins, it's a less exact science. But on the buy side, or on growth days, I should say, you actually can get a pretty good read on what's doing well. One interesting thing is how much Bitcoin has gone up versus how much the altcoins have gone up. I talk about my strategy for this, especially when there's so much fear, is to buy things that have the highest leverage, which is typically altcoins that are trading at around 150, 200 Bitcoins a day, and trying to nail those. So obviously it's not for everyone. You got to make your own decisions on what you like. Some people bought up a lot of Ethereum yesterday. But when I'm looking through this, let's see what pops out. Obviously, Ethereum bouncing back is a huge deal, because one, it's a big gain. And I think Ethereum, more than anything, was a massive fear-driven price. But the other thing is that Ethereum has a huge impact on the rest of the market, because a lot of coins and apps are based on the Ethereum blockchain. So if Ethereum does well, everyone does well. Bitcoin, while everything isn't built on Bitcoin, it's just pegged to Bitcoin. So there's a little bit of a difference there, but that's really good news. I'm still, I own a lot of Ethereum. I'm still a little hesitant on Ethereum. I don't know what the future is. I could totally see this going back down to 120. But if you are interested in Ethereum, I would probably just let this ride. I mean, maybe buy in a little bit now, but I don't know. Litecoin, it's interesting. Litecoin's been holding pretty steady through this whole debacle, but it also isn't getting, it's not necessarily going the same upside because it didn't get the same downside of the fear. Litecoin is sort of becoming a bit of a hedge against Bitcoin. I don't know if that's going to continue after we see what happens with the fork. I personally love Litecoin. It's one of my biggest holdings. But, it went from 20 to 40 pretty fast. I think that it's got a little bit of time to really prove that out. I think we need a couple of big case studies for where that goes up. So anyway, scrolling down, everything else looks pretty good. Monero, I bought into Monero yesterday at 29. And that was exciting. I was really stoked on that trade. I'm not looking to flip that anytime soon. I love Monero. It's one of my. I would love to make that the biggest part of my portfolio. I think the privacy coins will always have a place in the world. The same reason why cash always has a place for people who have money is because they just don't want to have a paper trail. And I think that's why. That's really interesting, and some people might look at that and think, oh, well, it's going to be used for, bad things or whatever. I don't know if that's, who knows, but I do think that people will always value privacy, and Zcash is looking more and more like I'm not that impressed by it, but Monero is sweet. If you want another very small cap, huge risk, it's one called Aeon, AEON. They forked off Monero. And they're going really slow. They're like retooling all the code. There's no wallet. It's no, but it's super cheap. It's very small. Not a lot of people know about it. I love it. I own a bunch of it. Check it out if you're interested in these privacy coins. If not, don't worry about it. Going through, Augur did really well through this whole thing. I own some Augur, but also, like I said, doesn't come back with the same swing that something like Ethereum does because it didn't get depressed the whole time. So you might be kicking yourself on days like today, like, oh man, why didn't I go for the big increase stuff? But realize that often this stuff can be the saving grace while you're freaking out. Everything else, Purecoin's actually kind of interesting. I've looked at Purecoin. I was going to buy some Purecoin the other day, but the volume wasn't there. But keep an eye on Purecoin. That's gone up to about almost $3. So it's got some room. It's proven that it can get to that level. It's got a pretty good dev team on there. It's good. Ripple surprisingly went down a lot. I was really surprised to see how much it went down, and also how it hasn't come back nearly as much as I expected it to. Ripple just always seems to get lumped into the top market cap coins, and then just said, oh well, that's just gonna be the banking coin, and there's no real talk about anything other than that. That always concerns me. I'm like, who is using Ripple from a development standpoint? Who is so passionate about Ripple? Like, who is a Ripple fundamentalist? The way there are with Bitcoin and Ethereum and Monero and all these coins that have really power, Steam is a good one, really just diehard people. And this could be just, I don't know the research. That's why I don't love Ripple, is because who is behind Ripple? Who wants it to succeed more than anyone in the world? And this, again, I just could be ignorant about this. I got to go research that. But that's the big news. That's what I'm looking at least. When we look at the trend lines, everything's looking pretty similar. Madecoin, Madecoin's got a lot of potential, but it just hasn't had that breakout moment in a long time. I don't own any Madecoin, but you can check that out maybe. And overall, it just looks it's a pretty across the board market increase. So hopefully you bought in some yesterday. I will say, if you're thinking about buying today, I can't tell you what to do, but I would tell you that it's an interesting experience, as everyone's probably feeling right now, especially if you didn't load up yesterday or you're not used to loading up on down days. You might be looking at this and be like, oh, great, now we're going back up. I don't want to miss this. What I would tell you is that feeling of missing out, FOMO, is just as defensive as selling while things are going down, right? You don't have a plan. You're deciding once you see something, what you're going to do with your money, with your financial future. That's a tough decision to make. So I never buy when it's going up, even if it stings, even if I'm like, oh man, this is going to go to the moon, blah, blah, blah. Because 4 out of 5 times in 2 weeks, I'm glad I didn't buy on those up days, because another down day comes and it goes right back to where I was going to buy, and it follows, and it's just the market reloading. So I can't tell you what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm telling you, I wouldn't buy today. If I would wait until the next big red day, which may come later this week. It may come this afternoon, may come next month. I don't know. But when you buy on the red days, you have a much better chance of always making your money back, because it's going to go back up eventually. It's just that's just something that I really believe in. Quick glance at the overall market cap. I think it's good to look at this. These prices are a little bit more delayed, but IOTA actually had a really good comeback. And some people love IOTA. I don't know enough about it. It kind of came out of nowhere. It had $1 billion market cap, still pretty low. They came back hard. Stratus, still one of my favorite stocks on Bittrex to flip. I bought it when it went down pretty big. I think Stratus is going to come out with some crazy big news this fall with their new Breeze wallet. I think they're going to tackle some big problems. And it's just a different platform. It's built on C#. It's different than a lot of other ones. Anything else that really popped out at me this morning? Not really. Everything else, is just kind of like it's all the same, right? We'll see what happens. A couple pieces of news that are important. CoinDash. If anybody tried to get into the CoinDash ICO, I'm very, very sorry to tell you, or I'm sorry for you. They got hacked, and I think 40,000 Ethereum, which is like $7 million US dollars, was stolen by somebody who put in a wrong address and stole it was a mess. So that money is gone. Now they may refund it. They may just take it out of their own pockets and refund it from their private investment. They don't have to, but I don't know if they're going to. But I think what this really speaks to is you gotta know who you're dealing with. Like CoinDash, I looked at this yesterday and I remember thinking to myself, something about this just doesn't look super pro. Now, they may be the most pro people ever. I think they're based in Europe and Israel. They may be the most professional company in the world. I don't know. But it didn't rub me the right way. Honestly, because CoinDash is just Dash Coin in reverse. Like, give me a break. That's not that unique. And I can't imagine anybody who's creating a name like that. I think that they're trying to do it for, rip off, get some brand cred, as opposed to actually making something unique. And maybe they've been around for 5 years and I don't know about it, but if that's the case, like, get a new name. Come on, don't try to rip off somebody else's name. So anyway, this is all speculation on my part. What's not speculation, though, is that it got hacked. And I've gotten a couple emails from people at coinmastery.com. By the way, you can always respond to the newsletter emails, and I read them all. I respond to all of them. Most of them, as many as I can. And a couple people are like, hey, can you go check this coin out? Can you go check this out? What do you think of this? Some of them are ICOs. Some of them are like investment opportunities, blah, blah, blah. And most of them are literally scams. Like they're just, these companies just trying to rip you off, promising you the world, not talking about anything that has to do with the people or the team or no contact info. It's just sketchy. So I'm just telling, please stay away from some of these. If it looks new and hot and they're promising you huge returns, it's not going to end well. So I hope that we don't see a lot more like this. I'm sure we will. I think it may put up some red flags, not only for Ethereum, but I think from regulatory commissions like the SEC in the US may start to take a look at this. But be safe out there, guys. It's no joke, right? So this is just like the actual live blockchain, which is really unfortunate. Now, in other news, which is, I don't know, I guess a little bit better. Back on Bittrex. Now, remember, Syndicate, same example. The ICO, there's a bunch of these YouTubers out there that promote this pump and dump crap. And Syndicate, I mean, for all I know, it could have some good tech behind it. But when I see marketers promoting the hell out of an investment opportunity and trying to be your friend and all that, it's just, you will never see me on this or hear me on this thing trying to get you guys to buy something, probably ever, right? At least in terms of coins. I think that is just like, it's super irresponsible. You got to do your own research. I can recommend something. I can tell you that I'm doing it, but I'll never tell you like, oh, you're rich if you do this. Like that's just ridiculous. And that's what I see a lot of, and just pisses me off, to be perfectly honest, because a lot of people just get screwed. So stay away from the crazy big growth stuff. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have Civic. Now, Civic is an ICO, and it listed on Bittrex yesterday afternoon, 4 o'clock. And you'll see that this is what always happens. The price just completely bombs. Man, I hate this recording thing always. Maybe it'll come back. Recording, the ICO always drops down. And it's been kind of petering around. Now, the price is, 6,600 Satoshis. That's like 16 cents. In the ICO, when it went live a couple weeks ago, it was about 10 cents for pre-sale people, and then it went up to like $1.50 for people later in the ICO. So this is actually a really good price for some people. However, this is a complete bloodbath. My 2 cents on this, I like this. One, I love the identity market. I think that this is going to be humongous. I think a lot of governments are already looking in this big time. I think a lot of big banks, or not big banks, big companies, were trying to revolutionize things like passwords and passports. I think, and driver's licenses and stuff. Civic is the first big company trying to tackle this. Rumor is Stratus might be trying to get into this too, which would be sweet. But for now, you can download the app. It's actually it's very well built. And this guy, the founder, Vinny, he's a little controversial in the crypto world. He's like kind of like an opportunist, which always gets a hate me or love me type situation. But, he knows what he's doing from a business standpoint. What I would tell you guys is that I've got a couple of orders in here around 4,300 Satoshi. I don't even know if they're going to get filled or not. But if it does, great. I'm going to wait till it sells off if it does. Because I think that this is actually pretty good. And the fact that you're going to get at 4,300, you're getting at or below pre-sale rates, that's pretty good. The second piece, remember, we always talk about the people behind the decisions. That's really how I make a lot of my decisions. There are a lot of companies in San Francisco, in Silicon Valley, that's where I'm based, who invested in Civic. And these are like blockchain investment companies. They've invested in coins, they've invested in tech, but they're really focused on blockchain. Civic is something that they all pretty much across the board really, really like and really, really bought into. The reason why that's important is because that's a lot of very powerful and influential people in San Francisco who want this thing to go big. Not only because they want to make a lot of money, but because they want to have one ICO that they can point to and say, look, it's not just Bitcoin. It's not just Ethereum. There's some real tech here. There's some real potential here. That is not to be underestimated, because relationships are a huge part of whether or not businesses succeed, especially businesses like this, right? Civic gets the right investors, right advisors. All of a sudden, they get the right introductions to Brazil government, and that's what makes the whole thing blow up in a good way, right? Like the business explodes. So I like it. I'm just so, I got to mitigate my risk. So that's why I got a buy order in so low, but I don't know. I could see it going up, because I do think that there's something to this. At the same time, it's an ICO. It's built, it's sketchy. ICOs are always like, who knows? But if there's gonna be anything that I was gonna put in my money into from an ICO standpoint, it would probably be this. So we'll see. You can check the price. If it hits like 4,300 or whatever it is, then we're in business. If not, then, well, so it goes. I live to fight another day. And I think that's about it. Everything's just continues to go up and up. Again, guys, it's going to be tempting to buy in. I can't tell you what you should do. I am definitely just going to let this ride. I think that we're not out of the woods yet, but I do like it. If you want to look at some interesting, or some of the stuff I'm looking at, it's tough to tell today, but really just wait until the market goes down so you can see what's going down disproportionately. Gollum was a great buy. I got that last Saturday. I think what else did I get? I think I got some game credits, a little bit. Factum, I like Factum. I bought some Factum, and I bought some Steam, and a couple other ones. Go back to the first. Monero, obviously. Civic Coin, I actually bought some Civic Coin around 297. And obviously Stratus, I bought that around 10 a while back. So anyway, make your own decisions, but be smart about it. Feel free to hit me up or leave a comment if you have any questions. If you guys are new to this channel, go to coinmastery.com or coinmastery.com/invest. You can get it on the newsletter, give you some free info. People have found it very, very helpful and valuable. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm going to work on getting the video feed fixed. But in the meantime, everyone, I wish you the best of luck. I wish you immeasurable fortunes and happiness. And I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, peace out.